Hey there, Glenn with the Toy Temple, and hey, happy holidays! I'm going to try to get this video up right around Christmas, and bad news, I'm going to try to slow down on reviews, not post them twice a week, but I've got like a huge stockpile going, and once those are through, I'll review what I feel like reviewing, and I'll try to put more time into the reviews rather than just churning them out and just trying to make them as quickly as possible. I've just got this huge stockpile of boxes, and I just look at it and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to open those on Christmas and actually enjoy the toys I've bought this year. And some toys, I know you clicked on this for top 10 toy reviews, but hear me out. Some toys, they don't even have a review yet, and I've opened them and reviewed them, but I just want to say thanks for this year. I think we're over 700 subscribers, and that's a big number from last year. I think it was like around 400, so yeah, thank you. Thank you for everyone who's watching. This top 10 figures review, though, it will not include Funko Pops. It will not include statues. So let's get those out of the way right now. And let's get to the top 10 figures of 2019. So what I thought I'd do is I'd give a big overview of every series I bought this year. So like, for instance, this is all the Black series I bought and opened. I've got some in the boxes back there, but let's not worry about them. These are the cream of the crop, the ones I couldn't wait to open. And there's some major contenders in here for figure of the year, so keep your eye out on these. Next up, we've got the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection line, and believe me, I've got like several more bought, but this line has just been so great. It's been a great first year for this particular line. We went from the Legacy Collection with Bandai to now Hasbro just churning out these works of art. The sculpt is amazing. Oh, they're so good. And I just keep buying them, and they're just fantastic. And I just love buying them. They're really great. And it's so exciting to see a line like this just really cranking up and really, putting out characters like Magna Defender, Shadow Ranger. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. I love it. I love seeing such a successful line happening. On the flip side, though, there is the problem with Mattel, and they lost the license to McFarlane. And these were the only two DC Multiverse figures that I bought this year. And yeah, it was a pretty rough year. Honestly, the Shazam's really great. I found a lot to like about him. Actually, I just watched the movie. It's a really great movie. Zachary Levi, amazing. And this figure's pretty great. So if you still see it out there and it's on cheap, and I think I'm going to purge a lot of my DC toys, but I'm going to keep him around. It's just a really great action figure, a lot of good memories, and I don't know, Bizarro. I think I find him for like $3, yeah. But it's weird to see a line wind down, but I think they weren't doing what DC wanted, Mattel, and it shows. And as far as random figures go, I didn't really focus too much on Transformers or Overwatch this year. The McFarlane, Ragnarok, that's his name. He looks awesome. Probably not going to do too many more from that line unless they just absolutely blow me away, because they use a lot of reused stuff. Like, what's his name? AIM, and there's another one. But anyway, some of these are just like, you can't even stand. Farah. I don't play Overwatch, so, that eliminates a lot of these, but their character designs are amazing. And this guy, he stands pretty okay, but you were a Figma. That's what you were. You were the only Figma I bought. And then you got Donnie, and then Soundwave. Soundwave didn't even come with any tapes, but there were some pretty cool ones this year, I thought. You know what? I was going to be nice and stack these all up, but you know what? Here. We're just going to toss them all into the photo booth because, okay, Marvel Legends was a little nuts this year. You had options like pretty much we've never seen before. We had MCU, we had comics, we filled out the 90s X-Men team. We filled out so much, and there's even more over on the shelf that I haven't even bought yet and opened. It's insane. This was a great year for Marvel Legends. The Kingpin, you got the Molten Man back there from the MCU, Thanos from MCU, Infamous Iron Man. There's a Doctor Doom coming out next year. I haven't seen him in stores, but just Hasbro is killing my wallet with these Marvel Legends, and obviously it shows. Like, you have so much to choose from. MCU, X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man. It's insanity, but I'm not complaining. I like the variety, believe me. For worst figure of the year, I gotta give it to Krang. For what you get compared to the other 2-packs that came with this line, like say Leonardo and Shredder, Mikey with a foot soldier, the Donatello Krang 2-pack, you get this. This is I think it's a $54 2-pack. You get Donatello, which is great. I really like that Donatello. It's not my favorite, but it's a really great looking Donatello. And then you get this. That is your other half of that $54, and that is unacceptable. I mean, you can't even stand. Look, it falls right over. It's very flimsy. They couldn't even put him inside the big yellow Krang bot, you know, the big guy, but it's a big disappointment, and that is why it's my worst figure of 2019. Honorable mentions for best figures that didn't quite break the top 10 are the 2-pack, the Farah Mercy 2-pack from the Overwatch series, which I think and I fear is coming to an end because they're doing some pretty great stuff. But you know, I look at Farah and she's very hard to keep standing, but just the size, the scale, the paint, the articulation, the number of accessories, it was a great 2-pack. Really liked it. Grievous, General Grievous, wow, he's very flimsy. But I love looking at him, and he draws your eyes every time you look at him on the shelf. And I mean, anything that equips 4 different lightsabers, I think that's what I like most. They're all different lightsabers, and they all just look really great. And his articulation with the lightsabers, yeah, there she goes. There she goes. You know what? I'm just going to let her. The articulation with these guys isn't the best, but you know, you can really pose them out. Make him look really big and intimidating. He'd be higher if he actually came with a decent cloak, but that cloak that he comes with is just absolute garbage. And I've tried to use it on other figures, but it just doesn't work. Additionally, he did come with a blaster, but this little part in here doesn't open up. So you can't shoot him in the heart like Obi-Wan does, but yeah, he's just a very cool sculpt, but very flimsy. See? Number 10 is a tie because I can't decide. These were both Walmart exclusive Captain Americas. The Power and Glory worthy cap equipped with Mjolnir. And then you've got the comic accurate, beautifully sculpted Captain America. Great shield, classic shield that we always see, but the boots are sculpted. The line job right there is amazing. Right down the middle, you get the red and the white, and they look really great. You get the scales. And just to compare, I found my old Captain America, and he's not MCU, he's just, what was it? The Onslaught Wave. And yeah, it's a big improvement over this fella. Well, I like him. He's just, you know, he's missing the scales, the paint's really sloppy, that A is enormous, the chin is just too big, but it's not about him, it's about these guys. And between the two, I just couldn't decide what I liked more. I can't have every Captain America on this list because there were a lot this year. But these are the two that stood out to me, and I like them. I like them a lot. Number 9 is the Mandalorian. And what a great looking figure this is. Cape, big gun, additional gun in the holster. Holster has the little peg. It's fantastic. I really like it a lot. One thing that I don't like, and go ahead and skip to number 8, if you don't want spoilers about the show. I'll give you a second. I did say spoilers, so there's no going back. This is already inaccurate to the show. He only had this for a brief period of time. Now he's got nice shiny armor, but I still love the grungy look to this. But yeah, they'll probably release that shiny armor figure in the near future because, you know, the Black Series loves money, and it's just a repaint, so they'll probably do it pretty naturally at that. The guns are awesome. I love Mandalorian. I love everything about it. I got Jango, Boba, so many other ones up on the Star Wars shelf, but yeah, this guy's awesome. Butterfly shoulders tucked in there. Look at him. Look at those. Oh, it's great. He's got really great articulation. The little bandolier going into the belt. Oh, he's great. fantastic. Really like it. Number 8 is Goldare from the Lightning Collection. Now, he'd probably be higher up if he had, his wings didn't flop around. Now they're staying in place, but once I get to moving them, they will flop down. He's got that yellow gold instead of just gold like this, but the sculpt is amazing. The hair, great. The weapon's not painted. And seeing Goldare in the 6-inch scale is just unbelievable. A lot of detail, and yeah, he's got the floppo, not so rigid wings, but he's incredible. And I'm so glad I finally have this villain in the collection. Number 7 on our list is the new Iron Man, classic comic book style Iron Man, that is. And one of the main, I'm going to say, detracting things about this one was the price point of $25. That just really, I think, rubbed people a lot in the wrong direction. And it went on clearance pretty quickly. So with that out of the way, I just want to say this thing is incredible. This sculpt is amazing. And the MCU has just convinced everyone that Tony just has these incredible, massive, technologically advanced suits, when really it just started out as a guy just throwing together a big scrap box and just making a giant metal suit out of it. And the gold came later, but man, this thing, just the sculpt looks amazing. The gold looks great. These little things right here, I don't know what they are, but they look so good, and they don't get in the way of the leg articulation. It's great. Comes with plenty of accessories, big explosions, an unmasked Tony Stark head, and if you want, an upgraded, better version of the helmet look. And compare this with another one I had in the collection, and yeah, it's a marked improvement over this guy. So super glad that I have this one. And my comic book Avengers shelf would be incomplete without this Tony Stark. Number 6 on the list is Lord Drakon from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And what's so great about this, by the way, is in the dying days of Bandai, they decided to make it a Power Morphicon exclusive. And what that means is only people at the convention could buy them in person in Texas. Sure, you could do it online, but they oversold, and the people online didn't get as many as the no-limit purchasing. And let's just say eBay is chock full of $180 Power Morphicon exclusive Lord Drakons. Well, that brings us to this, where Hasbro now has the license, and we've got a $20 genius-looking Lord Drakon, complete with Dragon Dagger, additional hands, explosion effects, unmasked, old Tommy Oliver head. Just so good. And the gold looks good, and the armor looks good, and it's amazing. They keep knocking it out of the park. The Morpher looks great. It's even got the little Lord Drakon dino coin on there. Just so good, so good. And I'm so happy that it's actually a $20 figure, and I don't have to save and scrap for months on end just to afford a $20 piece of, or a $120 piece of plastic. I'm so happy, and this head looks so good. The photorealisticness of this, dead on. They nailed it. Absolutely a fan of it. The paint looks great. I don't think they could have done much better. Number 5 is Hydra Man from the Marvel Legends series, and as I re-examined all the figures I bought this year, one dark horse stood out to me through mostly the sculpt on the water arms and the face and the body. It all just kind of came together, and I just went, that just has some serious shelf appeal. I mean, you got Sandman, but he was a Build-A-Figure, I think, in 2016? You don't really get the big-time elemental effects like this as much anymore. And on the legs, they come off. And he's a regular guy. Black shirt, blue jeans. And they just went nuts with the water effects, and I really dig it. The face sculpt looks great. Just looks like really just not a handsome looking guy. But the translucent blue looks great. The swirl blue water just looks like it's dripping right off him. I love it. On a Spider-Man shelf, you just need some rogues, and Hydra Man, you definitely need it. As soon as I saw that he was announced, I had to have him, so I'm really impressed with this one. Yes, at number 4, we have this still standing on one hand, Marvel Legends Beast. And what a figure. Just roaring blue. The X-Men logo right there on his belt. The fur look. The little added black touch all over the arms and hands, just giving him that nice shadow effect. The blue trunks. Big, beefy, giant figure. And balanced so well. Different layers of articulation. Ones I had never even seen before. Like, seriously, there is just right there. That leg articulation, that's nuts. The butterfly shoulders, amazing. And for a figure this big, this is big. This is a chunky kind of figure. The only thing I would have loved is a non-roaring face. I mean, yeah, he's a beast. He's, angry. He's just got that angry beast inside, but he's also a scientist. Hank McCoy is an intelligent life form. And, maybe some glasses, a cup of tea, a lab, coat would have really improved upon this. But for the size, the bulk, the $20 level, there's not much more you could ask. And I love this figure, and I'm so glad to finally have a beast in my X-Men collection. And for number 3, you don't need to be psychic to know that Professor X was probably going to be on this list. I've wanted Professor X since one of the very first videos I ever did, the top 10 most wanted Marvel Legends. And with a figure like this, he's got the super psychic, I'm reading your mind face. He's got the big floaty chair with the big buttons and data pads. He's got the blanket that covers his, his cold little legs. He comes with the blast effect to give it that hover look. He came with Cerebro head, mind reading effects. He came with everything. They loaded this thing up. I mean, that's Professor X. It's going to be a long time before we get another one this good. Just look at the sculpt work on the chair, the face. I mean, it looks like Professor Xavier. I love it. I love this. I love it so much. Number 2 is Lord Zedd from the Lightning Collection. And wow, just having a Lord Zedd at the 6-inch scale. I know I said it about Goldare, but villains in a line of action figures is so important. Because if you just have the good guys fighting all the time, if your line is completely composed of Captain America and Iron Man and Ant-Man and Scarlet Witch, it just gets a little redundant. And you don't have any reason as to why the figures should be doing the actions. And with a villain like Lord Zedd, you take all your heroes and you team them up and you make them beat the bad guy and, they save the day. And that's the point. You want them to save the day, and you can't really save the day when they're all heroes. So when Power Rangers finally have a villain to defeat, it makes the toys come to life. And with a figure like Lord Zedd, they gave it the exoskeleton, the goo tubes that run all over him, that pulse his blood or whatever is in there, all through his body. They gave him the big exposed brain, the red chrome visor, the big staff, which, yeah, I painted. It was unpainted, but, I gave it a little bit of love. Fingertips were unpainted as well, but it's a $20 figure. It's a great sculpt. How did they do it so well? Well, I'll tell you. They give it a nice black wash. And they missed some black wash at the top there in the brainy section, but you don't need to have a big brain to realize that this is a work of art. The chrome exoskeleton all the way around, nice shiny chrome look. Staff has the big Z right there. Z on the top, on the skull. Man, you need the villains. You need the villains. I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Action figure lines need villains, and this is your top villain this year. And the number 1 figure of 2019 is NECA Donatello from the movie line. And you don't have to go all the way back to one of the first reviews of this year to know that I absolutely fell in love with this figure. The price point was right. The articulation was right. The leather, the staff, the additional hands, the light. It looks lifelike. The green, the color, the paint, it's all there. One of my favorite favorite movies as a kid. The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action just jumps from the television screen and into the palm of my hand with this one. So much nostalgia, so much love for the Turtles. And I could tell from the sculpt, from the paint, from additional bandanas, heads, it's all there. Someone crafted this, cared that much as I do about the Turtles. They put it all on the line, and they did it in such a way that just, if there was a fire, this would be the first action figure I would save. I'll say it right now. This thing is a work of art, and I can't stop looking at it. It's the top figure of 2019 and is definitely one of the top figures I've ever bought. So if you still have the shot to complete the team or just grab your own, definitely grab at least one of these. They're all fantastic. Mikey, Raph, Leo, but especially Donatello. I can't believe that something at that price point is available and it looks this good. Even after this video concludes, I'm still going to look at this thing. Just take the time and admire it. It's art. And that's why it's my number one figure of the year. And that does it for the top 10 figures of the year. We've got a pretty good selection. We've got things from Marvel Legends, things from the new Lightning collection. NECA tops it this year. Can you believe it? I can't. Hopefully they keep it up because I really like what NECA's been doing there. We've got the Black Series, a lot of variety, a lot of good stuff here, but a lot of good stuff on the horizon too, and I hope you'll join me. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Hit like, share, subscribe. Have a great 2020, and remember, you're never too old to enjoy the things you love.